Who are you?
I'm John Cuthbertson, the New Zealand Tax and Financial Services Leader for Chartered Accountants.
My name's Michael Croker. I'm the Head of Tax for Australia at Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand.
My name's Cam McWilliams and I'm the Business Reform Leader at Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand.
Kia ora koutou. My name is Peter Vile and I'm the New Zealand Country Head of CA ANZ.
Amir Ganda. I lead our advocacy work around reporting and assurance.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Yvette. I'm the New Zealand Government Relations Lead for Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand.
This is more interesting.
What do I expletive actually do?
What do? We do submissions to government and standard setters and regulators, both domestically in Australia and New Zealand and internationally.
How effective is the team when negotiating with government and government departments such as the IR on behalf of CAs? Well, I'd like to think we're very effective.
In much the same way as our chartered accountants in commerce, in public practice, try and be influential, we apply the same approach here, endeavouring always to be a voice which is worth listening to.
We certainly have very open lines of communication. We've built up trust and rapport with Inland Revenue and indeed various governments over a number of years.
The government is looking to achieve certain policy objectives, and that's right down through the regulators and the standard setters. What we can give them is, of course, what's happening on the ground and the concerns and views of our members at the coalface, and we can also help them work out how to practically achieve those outcomes that they're aiming for.
Our advocacy is little bit after little bit after little bit. It's the cumulative effect over time that makes the big difference. But I think we are very well regarded and we always have a seat at the table. So I would say that we are very effective.
I'd hate to see what the tax system would look like and the tax law would look like if we hadn't been involved for the last 3 decades.
What are you doing to protect the future of the profession? Now that's a really important one for us.
We do some amazing thought leadership work. We're also making our CA program into a future fit program for CAs so that we are ready to tackle the future of work.
I guess working in the advocacy areas around sustainability, particularly helping businesses take a broader view on value creation and making businesses more long-term in terms of their decision-making.
Our stakeholders, the government and the public have been calling on the profession. Its role really is going to be bigger and brighter well into the future, enabled by technology and as the demands and needs of the society continue to evolve.
I've seen members be sanctioned over breaking standards. But what do I do as a CA when I'm asked to turn a blind eye or participate in work that contradicts our obligations as CAs?
The thing is, CAs have a brand, CAs have a reputation. We are a trusted profession and we don't need in our midst people who push the envelope.
We must, in all of our work, abide by that code of ethics, which is principles driven.
Otherwise, our entire professional reputation right across the board goes down.
What's the most influential policy win that has helped members?
Of course, I'd like to say there's multiple wins here.
One of the ones I'm most proud of is where we've really been able to reconcile some very diverse views around auditing and trust in auditing and quality. And we've done that by intensively engaging with members around the states and the regions, and also with our stakeholders, ranging from the business groups down through the retail shareholders and even the general public.
Something that I think is quite influential from our perspective is our climate action statement, and that was our, collective viewpoint of actually the role of accountants in helping to address climate change with the businesses that they work with and for.
We have worked very closely over the last 30 years in tax, for example, in New Zealand, that it doesn't create collateral damage and unnecessary compliance costs.
How does the advocacy group prioritise submissions? Is it by public or member interest or based on what CA ANZ believes is going to be the most beneficial?
The public good is almost always in member interest. It may not be immediately in the immediate short term, but over the medium and longer term, public interest and member interest coincide.
That gives us huge credibility and has allowed us to open doors within government and inland revenue because we're not bringing any sectorial bias.
And that's what we do through our advocacy program, and that sets us apart from other groups. We're not a lobbyist, I don't like the L word, we're an advocate in the public good.
We look at the public interest, and then we also apply the lens that we have sort of from looking above everything and then make an informed judgment.
What are some of the policy areas you are focusing on for the future, and who will it positively impact in the membership?
We were a sick economy going into COVID, and now we're going to have a lot of businesses struggle to get out of COVID. So we've started a conversation with Treasury around what the future looks like policy-wise, and that's really hard.
Some of the key areas we're looking at by necessity now are the change in work practices. People won't necessarily be employees, but they'll have multiple jobs.
Last one. Yay. Where can I go to see the achievements the APS team has made? The website.
Follow the organisation on social media. Subscribe particularly to our newsletter, the Reporting and Assurance News.
We actually have a web page that will tell you all of our policy submissions. Business Reform also has a particular page that will tell you what's coming up in that space.
My CA as well. Make sure you're on there. You'll be able to get I think a good flavour of where we focus. And selfishly, we want your input as well.
Particularly in the business reform areas, we don't get a lot of input from members and we'd love more, so please engage with us there. There you go, that's it, done.